to emphasize to you the importance of having local government elections held in Guyana, so that we can not only correct the ills in our villages, not only that we will be able to correct the ills in the municipality of Anna Regina, but in general, we will be able to bring back the local government system as it ought to be. You know, comrades, quite a lot of you out there right now are perhaps questioning the reason or the objective behind Majority Leader David Granger and the APNU calling for local government elections. You are asking the question that if in the National Assembly there is already a motion of no confidence, and once this motion of no confidence is passed, this government will have to resign, and we will have to have general and regional elections within 3 months. But comrades, this is the reason. You see, Majority Leader David Granger is not only concerned with becoming president of this country. The APNU is not only concerned with becoming the next government of this country, but we are more concerned about you, the people, in the villages that you live, in the communities that you live. And hence, we are calling for local government elections before anything else. But the point must be made that when this motion of no confidence reaches the floor of the National Assembly, the APNU will support that motion of no confidence 110%. So don't be confused about that, comrades. You see, comrades, you know, in your house, in the homes that you live in, when the rain falls one night and you have the zinc sheet in the corner that the rain waters leak through, comrades, you know what I'm talking about. And don't be shy, all of us in our houses, we got the little part of the house when rain falls, the waters leak through. You know where it leaks. But like local government elections, comrades, in your villages, in your communities that you live, you know which are the canals or which are the drains that should be dug first. Because you know when the rain falls, that drain floods, and you and your residents and your friends will be flooded out. When you live in a house, if you know that you swing the back door too hard and it may fall off the hinges, you will know how much to swing that door because you live in that house. You know that the floorboards at night, when you walk on one that is crooked and old, it will make a noise or you may even fall through. The reason why you would know that, comrades, because you live in the house. So similarly, local government elections empowers you, the people that live in the villages, that you know where the bad roads are, that you know where there are dark spots in your village, that persons of questionable characters will lime at night. You know where the street lights ought to be put up. You know where the playgrounds or the recreational facilities that your young people play in the afternoon, you know where those are and how they have to be rehabilitated. Because simply, comrades, because you live in that village. Local government elections provides an opportunity for every citizen that resides in a particular village to have a say as to what happens in that village. How many times you would have woken up one morning and you see a contractor doing roads IMAC digging out a trench. But when you ask yourself the question, you don't know what this contractor is doing. You don't know what the IMAC is doing. And you know, lo and behold, you live in the village and you don't know what is happening. But with local government elections, you will have the opportunity to identify your own representative, to represent your interests. And if there is any project to be done in your village, that representative will first have to call a community meeting. He or she will have to meet with you, the residents who live in that village. And he will have to say that, look, we have $10 million to be spent in this village. What are some of the projects that you believe we ought to be spending on first? And as a resident in that village, you will be able to say to your elected representative, what are the projects that should be given first priority? That is local government. You know that you have the health centers in your community or the post offices, and you know that the elderly in your village will go there, whether it's to seek medical attention or whether it's to collect their pensions at the end of the month. But you know, when the senior citizens go to the health center or the post offices, there are no benches for them to sit and wait. There are no sheds over their heads, and they're left to the elements, the hot sun they have to stand up in. With local government elections, you will be able to say that, look, we have to rehabilitate our post offices. We have to put up the sheds. We have to put benches there so that our elderly citizens are catered for. Similarly, as I said to persons right here on the Essequibo coast, there are so many Ramnawe young people, young men, young cricketers who have the talent that they can match Ramnawe right here on the Essequibo coast. But the problem that the young people have in these communities, in these villages, is that there are no recreation facilities that they can go and play. So we, in a sense, are robbing our young people of that opportunity to identify them and their talents that they have, because the local government system, comrades, provides for you, the residents that live in a village, to identify those projects that you see as first priority. Even with your security, on the local government, in your village, you could identify and set up your own policing, community policing group. A case in point is an incident that occurred a few nights ago in the village of Derbyshire Castle, when one bandit can hide in the bushes and pounce on a mother of 4 in the village of Derbyshire Castle, physically assault her, drag her out of her house, and she was raped on the dam in Derbyshire Castle just a few nights ago. And that is what the local government system will help to correct, because once you live in those villages and you know that they are empty lots with overgrown bushes, you will be able to say to your elected representative that they need to weed the bushes. You will be able to say to your elected representative that you need to get street lights in the area. You will be able to say to your elected representative that we need to get policing groups set up in the communities. That is the opportunity that comes with local government elections, because it puts the power in your hands to correct all of the ills that are affecting you in your community. Now, comrades, let me stress this, because many of you perhaps are saying that, look, well, this local government thing that David Granger and the APNU is calling for is an APNU thing. Let they go and deal with it. But comrades, let me remind you of this fact. When the rain falls and the villages are flooded. The flood waters don't look to find out whether you vote for APNU or PPP. It's all we would be flooded. When the bandits come into your villages and community, they don't look whether or not you voted for APNU or PPP. The bandits looking for the house who got the most money and jewelry. That is a reality. And that is why we are saying to you, comrades, that this call for local government elections is not an APNU thing, but it's a Guyana or a Guyanese thing. Because local government affects us all, directly or indirectly, regardless of your political support for whichever party or your ethnicity. We are calling for local government elections. The fact that Majority Leader David Granger can put aside becoming the next president of this country and saying to President Ramatar, announce a date for local government elections. Comrade, it is something that you ought to be admiring. Because the fact is this too, general and regional elections produces a president, it produces a minister or ministers of government. But comrades, when your village is flooded and your church are overgrown with bushes, do you see a president coming to deal with that? No, it is not necessarily his responsibility. When your village is flooded, do you see ministers of government coming there? No, because it is not necessarily their responsibility. The responsibility of the villages and the municipality is that of the national, the neighborhood democratic councils, and of course the municipality. And that is why the emphasis today, comrades, is calling on you to support the calls for local government elections. Now, I spoke a bit about the overgrown bushes and the clogged up drains in your community. But you know, comrades, in the capital city, Georgetown, you know, in any country across the world, the capital city of any country is deemed as the jewel and the crown of that country. It is where the tourists, when they come into your country, they admire your capital city. But comrades, you right here on the Essequibo coast, when you go to Georgetown now, rather than you going to see the Garden City, comrades, what do you see? The garbage city. You see garbage pile up all over Georgetown. The city is in a mess, smelly and stink. But you know, comrades, this administration is of the opinion that by starving the municipality of Georgetown, that they are doing some harm or some damage to Hamilton Green, the former Prime Minister, or they feel that they are doing some harm to the PNC because he is a PNC councillor. But the fact of the matter, comrades, is this: when tourists come to your country and they see the state that your capital city is in, and they leave with the impression that, look, this capital city of Georgetown, Guyana, is dirty and stink, they don't leave saying that Hamilton Green or the PNC got the capital city dirty and stink. You know what they leave Guyana saying? That, look, the condition that the government of Guyana have their capital city, and that is the reality. And as I've often said to people, if you have a capital city that is dirty and stink, then therefore, comrades, it reflects on the type of government that you have, and you can consider them to be dirty and stink as well. It's like if you go to your neighbor's house, and when you walk in your neighbor's house, you see the kitchen with all the dirty wares in the corner, or you see they got clothes thrown all over the floor. What sort of impression you will have of a friend when you go into their house and you see that is the condition that they have their house in? But comrades, it is the very same thing, the very same impression that tourists have when they visit Guyana and they see the state of the capital city and many of the municipalities in this country and many of the villages that comes under the Neighborhood Democratic Council. They see a dirty and stink country, and it is a reflection of the government that we have in office. That is the reality. But even as we speak about the state of the capital city, and you right here in Charity, because as we were coming in, you could see pile of garbage too. And the question has to be asked, what is the NDC, the Charity Urasari NDC, that has responsibility for keeping this area clean and tidy? And at the day, or at the end of the week, or month, or fortnight, is you, the vendors, have to pay that taxes. You know, when the people walk along with the little book and the pen in their hand, and every single one of you have to pay them for vending out here. But look at the state of this market area that you have to vend. It puts you in a disadvantaged position, because when persons come to your stalls to buy, to purchase something, and they look behind your stalls and they see bushes, garbage bags pile up, you know what they do, comrades? They simply ask you the price of something and tell you, I'm coming back just now. They're coming back because of what they see behind you. They are concerned about purchasing stuff from you as a result of that.
True.
And that, comrades, is not fair, because you have to pay to vend out here, and therefore the NDC, the Charity Urasari NDC, has that responsibility to ensure that this market area is kept clean and tidy at all times. But comrades, you know, when people in office for too long, they get comfortable. They forget that, you know, really and truly I'm supposed to be looking after somebody. And that is a situation that we have. Because this Charity Urasari NDC, like all of the NDCs throughout this country, comrades, they have been in office for 17 years. 17 years, comrades, they have been in office. So as a fact, they have forgotten their responsibility. It's to you, the people, that they are supposed to be serving. But in fact, comrades, they give you the impression at times that you are serving them. I saw earlier the regional chairman for Region 2, Mr. Parmanand Prasad, was walking by. I hope he's still somewhere around and he's taking note of what the APNU is saying, because he too, comrades, have a responsibility to this region and to all of the municipality and the NDCs in this region, comrades. Parmanand Prasad has that responsibility. So when he's walking by, y'all don't just smile and wave, because he is an elected official of this region. And he's supposed to be working in your interest. You must pull him in and say, hey, no, boss, man, you see this garbage here? You got to do something and clean it up, because it is his responsibility. But comrades, on the same note of garbage and clogged up drains in your communities, but let me give you a fact of something that happened in the capital city a few months ago. It will shock you. And comrades, if you don't believe me, when you see your godly regional chairman, Mr. Parmanand Prasad, or even His Excellency the President, you must tell them that Christopher Jones, at a public meeting at Charity, said this: the former local government minister that we had, one Ganga Prasad, tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that local government is administered in every region, to ensure that every region and every village and the citizens that resides there, their interests and their health are taken care of. But here is what your goodly local government minister Ganga Prasad said at a press conference. The man said that he's hoping and praying that a virus breaks out in the capital city so that the government can remove the municipality of Georgetown and impose an IMC. You heard me, comrades? A minister of this government, Ganga Prasad, tasked with the responsibility of local government, at a press conference says that he's hoping and praying that a virus breaks out in the capital city so that the government can remove the municipality and impose an IMC. Now, comrades, let's examine this statement. How many of you here on the Essequibo coast have family members living in the capital city? Is that this minister of government is saying to you that he hopes your brother, your sister, your cousin, your mother, your father, your grandchildren, or whoever for you resides in Georgetown, he is hoping and praying that they are infected with some disease just for the sake to remove the municipality? Does that sound to you, comrade, like anybody who comes from a caring government? He is praying for your family members in the capital city to die, just simply that they can remove the elected municipality and impose an IMC. But comrades, you know, I often tell people I come from the Essequibo coast. So when I speak with you, I don't only speak to you as a politician representing the APNU, but I consider myself speaking to you as an Essequibian, because my father born and grew in Queenstown, and my mother born and grew in Devonshire Castle, and for many years as a lad I lived in Essequibo. So I consider myself an Essequibian. So when you hear the name Jones, you think of Queenstown. When you hear the name Prince, you think of Devonshire Castle. So I am not here only representing party interests. I am representing the interests of the people. But back to the point made by the local government minister, praying for an outbreak to occur in the capital city. But you know, for many of you who go to church, you know, the good book often tells us that God works in mysterious ways. What wonders he performs. Because when the local government minister, Kelawan Lal, Ganga Prasad, my apologies, when he was saying that he's hoping and praying for a virus to break out in the capital city, we saw the hand of God at work shortly thereafter. We saw the hand of the Almighty at work shortly thereafter, because Ganga was calling for a virus to infect the people of Georgetown. But comrades, right now, the entire country infected with chikungunya. The entire country now is infected and suffering from chikungunya. You know, the old people always say, be careful for what you wish for. And even worse, be careful of who you wish it on. So while Ganga Prasad was praying for a virus to break out in the capital city, the entire country now suffering from chikungunya. And this is the point. Because viruses, comrades, vector-borne diseases, comrades, in the smallest island in the Caribbean Sea, be it Trinidad, be it Barbados, be it St. Lucia, is that these small, minor islands have these vector-borne diseases under control, because it is simply carried by mosquitoes. But comrades, you know that yesterday the People's Progressive Party Civic celebrated some 22 years of being in office, and they often tell us that before 1992 we were living in the dark days. But comrades, you tell me this, if we living in the bright days now, how is it that our citizens are being infected every day with simple things like chikungunya, dengue, filaria? We don't even have under control malaria. So what progress are we talking about? And comrades, what is even worse, when you go to the Georgetown Public Hospital for treatment for chikungunya, everybody line up and everybody waiting. They come and instead of telling the patients, but yes, you have chikungunya, you need to take this, don't do that. You know what the people tell you at Georgetown Public Hospital? You're getting a headache, drink some Tylenol, your skin scratching you, put on some anti-itch cream. But then you complain, but my joints, my elbow, my back, my knee, all in pain. But you know what I tell you? They say you don't have chikungunya. Comrades, it was deliberate to mislead you, to lie to the citizens of this country, because this government didn't want the truth to be told. They don't like the truth to be told that thousands of Guyanese have been infected and are infected with chikungunya. In fact, the goodly Minister of Health at a press conference says that we don't want to alarm anyone, we don't want to scare away the tourists, so the government decided that, look, we can stop talk altogether about chikungunya. But comrades, I don't even want to touch the situation that I saw and reports that I've received from this charity hospital. But you know, somebody could be wrong, because every day in Georgetown we are told that we have the best healthcare facility throughout the length and breadth of this country. We are told that the charity hospital has all of the medication you can think about, and when you, the Essequibo, or those of you in the reverend community come out, you go to charity hospital and almost immediately your health is taken care of, and you leave there smiling and happy. But comrades, unfortunately, that is not the report that we've gotten. That's not the state that I've seen at this hospital. I saw persons line up at that charity hospital waiting to see a doctor. And when they finish seeing the doctor, the hospital ain't got no tablets to give them. They give you a prescription and they tell you go and buy it somewhere outside. And comrades, this is the bright days that we're living in. This is supposed to be the bright days that we're living in. 22 years after the return of democracy, as they would say, and you can't even go to the hospital here at charity for get an aspirin or a Tylenol. So comrades, when Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon, I don't know if he's out of hospital, let's pray for him for safe and quick recovery. But when Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon, week before the last, at his post-cabinet briefing, he said that, look, not every time you're getting headache or itches or rashes, it means that you're getting chikungunya. It is something else. So comrades, here what I will tell you. The fact that Cabinet Secretary Roger Luncheon says it is not necessary chikungunya that you are having, even though all of the symptoms is consistent with that of chikungunya. Here's what to tell you now. If you're getting a headache, if you're getting the rashes on your skin, if you're getting the pain in your joints, you don't have chikungunya. You got PPP on you. This is the brand new thing. You got PPP on you. If Cabinet Secretary Roger Luncheon says it is not chikungunya, then it's PPP on you. But comrades, it was deliberate of the minister and the Ministry of Health to withhold that vital information from you and your family. And as such, they have endangered the lives of your family members by withholding that information from you. And it brings the question into being, how can you trust your government? How can you as citizens trust your government? Because if they are prepared to withhold information from you that would benefit your lives and protect your family members, how can you trust them? And you know, comrades, out there in South Africa, there is a virus that is spreading, and that virus, comrade, is Ebola. We learned recently that Ebola has now reached the shores of the United States of America. Now, comrades, if this government that we have, this so-called caring government, withheld information from us as it relates to chikungunya, how can we as a citizen, trust that, God forbids, Ebola virus reaches the shores of Guyana? How can we trust this government to then tell us that it is here and what we have to do to protect ourselves and our families? How could we trust them